I've always struggled to find suppliers for lace making materials, and last week I found a website called Roseground. I had visited it about 10 years ago, but since then their website is so much better, and I'm really pleased with my order. I ordered on Friday, it got shipped on Monday, and I received it today, Thursday. So here's what I ordered. I ordered a 60mm hook, and it's got a nice little case on the top to protect the hook, which is really handy. It's the first time I've come across that. My hooks tend to last me a long time, but I do wear them out. I've got a 0.75mm hook. And what's handy is you've got the imperial measurements on the hook as well, so that's a 12, and this one's a 14. So the 0.6 is a 14 and the 0.75 is a 12. That's handy because I didn't know that. And I've also got a second 0.6 hook because that way I can work upstairs or downstairs. I'll have a hook in each container. And the next hook I bought was a 0.4mm hook. This is a very fine hook. That is because I've started a project making baby Irish crochet lace. I'm making a christening gown and a hat, so I'm using very fine thread. They recommend 120, 140. For the moment I'm working with 100, and I'm going to see how I get on. What's really nice about this website is I found everything on one website, and it was delivered really speedily. Usually I buy from Kenmare Lace, but they have a limited choice, or in shops in Bantry or in Cork, but again they just have a few sizes and they don't always have everything I'm looking for. They certainly don't always have the hooks I'm looking for. So I'm delighted to have everything from one website, and it's a really easy website to use. They supply all lace making equipment, and I was particularly interested in their bobbins because they've got a really reasonable price for bobbins. I've often wanted to make bobbin lace, and I have got a few plastic bobbins, but I want some proper wooden ones before I start seriously trying to make some lace. So the first job I'm going to do now is place each bobbin in a little Ziploc bag. And what I do is I keep the label in the bag, so I always know what thread it is, because when you're looking at 80 or 60 or 100, it's sometimes very hard to tell which thickness the thread is. So by keeping the little label inside the bag as I'm using it, I'll always know what thread it is. So here's an example. I put the thread in a Ziploc bag, and I can feed the thread out as I'm working. The thread stays clean, and I also know exactly what thread's in the bag because I've kept the label. So that way you always can store your thread, and there's no danger of it getting damaged, and it's also handy to work from. Another good thing about it was the prices were very reasonable, so I bought 6 spools of DMC coordinate thread, 2 Lisbeth thread and 4 crochet hooks, and it all came to £36, and I paid £6 delivery. I'm really pleased because, as I've always said, crochet is not an expensive hobby, but sometimes it's hard to get hold of the threads you need, and I'm not a big fan of Amazon or eBay. I decided with Amazon because there's so few things that they will ship to Ireland, and with eBay you never know where things are coming from. So I really recommend Roseground. It's a lovely website, it's easy to use, and they deliver all over the world. So here are all my threads safely packed up in Ziploc bags ready to use. And now I also know which thread is which,